Ah, just when you thought that I couldn't have too many, I bring home one more for entirely way too much money. Oh, then I could lift that up. But anyway, pretty run-of-the-mill looking little HP Pavilion with Intel Vive. Now, I thought that Intel Vive was a Pentium 4 thing specifically, but I guess it's not, because if you take a look at the spec sticker, you'll see this has a Core 2 Duo in it. Not a very good one, but it does have one anyway. Of course, they sullied that with Windows Vista, but, you know, it's probably from 2007 or so. 2 gigs of RAM, 320 gig hard drive. That actually would have been quite a bit in 2007. So, not a bad little machine, more than likely. At least back in the day. These days, it's maybe a little outmoded. But I picked it up because the hard drive is still in it. See, it's absolutely filthy. It's got a thumb screw on the side, which is pretty neat. You don't necessarily always see that in consumer-grade junky PCs. Oh my gosh, it looks like a dust bunny threw up in here. I want to get out the air compressor. I'm surprised it's got an IDE optical drive. But it does have a SATA hard drive that is 320 gigs in size. I'm guessing that's the original RAM. This is probably 2 gigs. It probably hasn't been upgraded. But before I even dare to power that up, I want to get out the air compressor and clean that, because that's disgusting. Okay, now that the air quality index has gone up to sane levels, I can actually breathe again. Or gone down to sane levels. I don't know what the correct term really is. And we can actually see inside the computer. We can take a look at what we have. And what we have is a system that's got a couple of bulging capacitors. Doesn't really surprise me to see those in an HP like this. This thing stinks like flowers. It's really not that great. Interestingly enough, there's a fan right there that was unplugged from the system for some reason. Probably because it's bad, but I'll just plug it back in there. There's no harm in doing so. Other than that, you know, I don't really see anything too out of the ordinary. Well, actually I do. Check out this ugly thing. I'm not sure why manufacturers used these, given their reputation, but probably because they were cheap, actually. It's another one of these Best Tech ATX 250 12Zs. The 12Z was not as bad as the 12E was, but they're still not very good, so if I decide to do anything serious with this, that power supply is going to come out of here. But I want to see if it even does anything at all first, so I'm going to go hook it up and see what happens. Okay. Still dust floating all over the place in here. But I've plugged in everything. This is one of those pseudo BTX systems where it's ATX, but it's upside down. For whatever reason, HP loved that. But let's go ahead and plug in the power, and let's see what happens. If it turns on, or if it blows up. Now, it didn't blow up. Not immediately, anyway. hit power. Hey! HP Invent. It actually seems like it works. Cool. Ooh, that made an interesting noise. So it looks like we've got everything. 2 gigs of RAM. Can we see CPU? There we go. Core 2, 2 gigahertz. Doesn't really say much. But let's see here. Is this optical drive? It's got nothing in it. And it gets stuck on the lid, which is great. There's nothing in there. There's no portable media drive. So now, this could, of course, choose to blow up at any time, so I don't know. SATA 1 controller mode is in RAID for some reason. I don't know why they did that. But I'm going to go ahead, save and exit. Just made a buzz. That's not a very good noise. There's birds fighting in the tree outside. Alright, let's see what it does. Launch startup repair. I do not want to launch startup repair. I'm not convinced that hard drive sounds the best. I might have to stop the video depending upon what this does next. I wonder what those birds are fighting over. Oh, please wait a moment while Windows prepares to start for the first time. So, it looks like somebody went through the recovery process, which is kind of unfortunate. I was kind of hoping there'd be data on here to peruse, but there won't be, in theory, unless this is just screwed up in some way. Oh, Windows Vista. I miss it, but I don't miss it. I don't miss the operating system and how much of a pile of crap it was, but I do miss the time. You know, 2007, 2008. In that particular time frame, YouTube was getting really popular then. It's just before Google bought it. Better time. It was a better time. But we don't have time machines yet, so we're stuck where we are. And that is waiting a moment while Windows prepares to start for the first time. I think I've waited more than a moment. I can kind of hear the hard drive thrashing over here. Oh, it's about to do something. I'm not sure why somebody felt the need to install it in RAID mode, but they did. I don't know if this is even the right version of Windows, to be honest. Because if it were, I would expect that it would have loaded all the proper drivers. That's bright. I'm not sure why. Mouse works. At least it's got that going for it. Please wait. That's the epitome of Windows Vista right there. If Windows Vista released like 4 or 5 years later, it would have been just fine. Like if it released in 2011, with the hardware that we had in 2011, it probably would have been okay, but released in 2007, so not so much. I always saw Windows 7 as just being a reskinned Windows Vista with most of the intensive things stripped out of it, but it had a better back end. They actually managed to figure it out. So it didn't thrash the hard drive so badly. And then they promptly took that and threw it away with Windows 10, but we'll ignore that. Likewise, I think I'm going to let this do its thing for a while. I'll come back to it and see what happens. Okay, went through a reboot. See what it does now. I probably shouldn't touch it in case the power supply does decide to explode. Because I have had one of these Best Techs erupt in flames Nearly took my friggin' hand off. Oh, look at this. We have a driver. Windows Vista Home Premium. Oh, we're not in the United States. I might as well set it up properly because I think that this is the proper licensed version of Windows. So we'll do things right the way that they should. I read that license term, or that EULA, very carefully, I promise you. Oh yeah. Here's the part I remember the most. Waiting for it to get through all this. Well, I think that's a little bit different. I don't think it normally says your machine will reboot upon completion. So there's a mosquito that's trying its best to get squished. I don't think it's got built-in speakers, which is a little unfortunate. But, I'll probably end up just leaving Vista on here, leaving this thing. I might upgrade the RAM to 4 gigs. I could probably find a better CPU than a Core 2 Duo E4400. I think I've got an E6600 sitting around here somewhere that would be a pretty nice upgrade. And if not, I have an E6700 Pentium dual core that's sitting right here. So, that just came out of something else. So there are upgrade options for this. I don't think much is going to be able to make Vista faster unless you put an SSD in this, and I'm not wasting an SSD on this. The application has failed to start because Visual C is not found. Well, this is supposed to be the factory install, which should work out of the box, but well, very much does not, as you can clearly see. So that's great. Okay, I'll let it sit for like 5 minutes. Let's see what's going on. I haven't gotten rid of this error message. I think we can now. Oh, there it goes again. There's another one. oscheck.exe. So, we have this thing here. It's seeing a drive D for some reason. I don't know where that's coming from. Must be the, that must be the recovery partition. No user backup. Send to Microsoft OneNote driver. I want you to buy a printer too. Look at this crap. State-of-the-art crapware. File description missing has stopped working. Oh, that's great. Oh, yeah, that's, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's Windows Vista, alright. Close program. Oh, there's more. Security status server has stopped working. OS check has stopped working. Symantec. Oh, it's got Symantec. Oh, no, it's right there. It's got Nord Internet Security on it. Well, maybe a step up from McLaughlin, but not a particularly big step up. HP update. To check for available updates. I don't have a network connection, so it doesn't even matter anyway. Show more details. Alright, Windows is activated. In the United States, call this. What am I supposed to do if I don't live in the United States, guys? Like, this was not even sold in the US. It was sold up here. So, whatever. No service packs, so I'm going to have to install those. Let's check out the Windows Experience Index. Let's see what we've got here. Well, it's probably about average for what I used to see back in the day under Vista. You know, I've seen a number of 1.0s, but it was pretty hard to get a 1.0 on Vista. If your graphics card supported Aero, it pretty much was guaranteed to get something decent. I think I've got one system in my possession that, even though it supports Aero, still gets a 1.0, but, you know. I'm still probably going to upgrade it, because I can upgrade the RAM, I can upgrade the, well, I can't really upgrade the RAM, but I can at least give it 4 gigs. You know, I probably can upgrade the RAM, actually. I don't know what speed it is. But I can certainly upgrade that CPU, because that CPU is only an E4400. I can do better than that, so I might as well. You know, I've got this thing. It works. I have it. I might as well hot rod it a little bit. So, But I'm just going to leave Vista on here, because I don't see any reason to not leave Vista on here. It's running just fine. You know? Remember all the one I remember the most was Bubbles. Yeah, that's what I used to have my computer set to, back when it ran Vista. There's the Mac screensaver that they stole from Apple. Of course, Windows Vista was just a giant ripoff of Mac OS anyway, so whatever. But it works. So we'll call it that. Yahoo search. Yeah, this thing is just a time capsule. I will set the screensaver. I'll set it to Aurora. Why not? Yeah. Windows Media Center. Rhapsody? Really? It's got a real player on it? My HP games. I'm sure that goes online somewhere, which is not going to work on this. What other junkware does this have on it? It's got Office 2007 Activation Assistant. Yeah, anyway. So, that's pretty much it for that. I don't have anything else to share. It runs, it works. So, there's your HP, probably upgraded at some point here in the future. But I want to get away from all these mosquitoes, so I'm probably going to retire inside for the night.